Hi, my name is Sara and I come from Rochester, Minnesota, the United States, which is also the Mayo Clinic headquarters. So this experience is so opposite of the community that I live in. But I am I am on day 1 of the retreat and on day 3 of dry fasting. And even though this is very outside of the traditional Western medicine approach, as soon as I learned about dry fasting and the science behind it, I knew this is where I needed to be. And just the short backstory of me is I was given a diagnosis of multiple sclerosis almost 18 years ago. It was before my daughter was born. And I've been able to maintain, I chose not to go on any MS medications because the thought of suppressing my immune system just didn't seem right to me. So I've been able to manage it pretty well with a gluten-free diet and just healthier lifestyle choices. However, I started noticing 4 or 5 years ago that it was getting a little bit more difficult to walk. I would say up to that point, my main symptoms were tingling in my hands and my feet, numbness in my legs, some weakness in my joints, migraines, but I started noticing it was getting a little bit harder to walk. And how I explained it to someone else at the retreat here was, it's almost like my joints are just very loose. And if you think about like 2 pencils and a tight rubber band, the pencils will go nicely like this. But my rubber band is like a stretched out rubber band. And so it's more like this. So I look like I'm drunk a lot of the time, but I'm not. And so I just really, it's been getting harder, like going down the stairs is a little bit harder. And even though I feel like sometimes I have the strength, it's just the stability is not always there. And so those are my main symptoms. That's what I have. I have other things. I also have a couple of ovarian cysts that I just found out about close to a month ago. So I guess I'm here for that too. But migraines, MS, the cysts, I just need to do something, because even though I've tried, I've been gluten-free, I've eaten very clean, I've worked with chiropractic and naturopaths, many herbs, I've done the Candida diet, I've done everything diet-wise, and I've tried hard, but it seems like it's just not a deep enough level of healing. And dry fasting makes complete sense to me, where you need to allow the body to heal from within. And all of these supplements and herbs and everything I've been doing and putting in my body, it's so counterintuitive to like think about. It's the very things that are sustaining us. It's actually the key to remove those to help heal us. And so I just stumbled upon dry fasting through many people here, found through Michelle Slater. I came across a podcast she was in, and that's how I found out about it. And Svetlana is the heart. She's behind the camera. She's like, just, it's so nice to have her running everything, and Doctor Filonov's wisdom, and just the community of people that are here it's like heaven. I've never been so excited to starve myself of food and water and do all the treatments. This really is a gift to be here, and I'm so grateful. And I look forward. My goal in doing this is, I lost a lot of years. I didn't mention chronic fatigue. That was a huge one for years. So I feel like my diagnosis of MS has robbed me of a lot of things. Even though I still tried to enjoy them, it just took that level of enjoyment down. I want to be able to truly enjoy life and be present. And I would love to play volleyball with my daughter again. I would love to be able to run. I haven't been able to do that for years. So I have some goals, and my why in doing this is so much bigger than any than any torture. I used to have hormonal migraines. I mean, I would have migraines for 3 or 4 days at a time where I was shaking and throwing up for over 10 years. So I figure I can handle this. So I'm excited to share about the days ahead, because these video testimonials meant the world to me. So glad to be here. Day 2 of the retreat and day 4 of my dry fast. And I just wanted to share that I think it's really helpful to be able to start fasting prior to coming to the retreat. I'm really glad I did. So I was on day 2 of dry fasting. Is that right? I was on day 2 of dry fasting when, day 3 of dry fasting when the retreat started. Is that right? And so yeah, that's what confused me, is I wanted to be on day 4, but my husband asked that I just cool my jets. So that's okay. But I definitely recommend fasting before you come, so you're on pace with other people, and it just kind of makes the time go by a little quicker. So I hope that's a helpful hint if you're planning to come, which you should. And I also wanted to share something about the 21-day liver and intestines cleansing program. Something that was really unique about that was that I felt a complete shift in my relationship with food. Because even within the program, there is water fasting and dry fasting, and just experiencing for the first time that deprivation from food and then eventually water with the dry fast, it really does give you a different appreciation and gratitude for food and just the simple things. Because even on my walks, when I was fasting, I just felt like I was paying more attention to the things around me, because you're trying not to think about food. I don't think we realize how much we think about food until we don't have it. So it really gave me a new appreciation for food, water, and just being more present with nature. So that was interesting. One of the other things I wanted to share also was, and this is for everyone, but I think especially if you're a mom, you could relate. So when I came into Montenegro, first of all, I was just blown away looking out the airplane window at the beauty. I knew the where we were staying at was beautiful, but I didn't realize how beautiful just flying in. I didn't cry, but it was like emotional. I was just so grateful to be doing this. And then coming to the hotel, the people at the front desk, they just take such good care of you. They make sure to take your luggage, and you just feel from the time you walk in like you're so cared for. And just the beauty and the feeling cared for, and knowing that you don't have the responsibilities of taking care of family and home. For a split second, I felt guilt about doing this, because I'm like, this is so me focused. It's just very different than what you're used to on a regular basis. But I just felt God say to me, this is a gift to you. This is a gift to you that's going to help you be a better mom, a better wife, a better friend, a better sister, a better everything. And so that feeling was very short-lived, but I journaled it because I think it's important to share with you if you have any sense of guilt about doing this. It's kind of like the analogy of putting when in an airplane, you have to put the air mask on yourself before you can put the air mask on anyone around you. And I guess this retreat is kind of like an air mask to help make sure that I'm in good shape so I can help take care of the people around me. So yeah, that's pretty much what I have for today. I am on day 5 of dry fasting and day 3 of the retreat, and I have had a very positive experience so far. I did forget to mention on day 3, I did experience, after walking with one of the other attendees on the beach, I noticed, and it wasn't a very long walk. I didn't have a lot of energy for walking, but when we got back to the hotel, my heart was pounding, and I went back to the hotel room and I experienced like 1 minute of nausea, and I lay down on the bed and then I felt fine. So I believe that was probably the first acidotic crisis. I don't know if I'm saying that right, but that's probably what it was. So I was surprised actually at how quickly it passed, because on day 3 of a practice dry fast, I felt really tired, like just going upstairs was almost impossible, and my heart would pound so much every time I got up. So I just want to tell you that's normal, and that's part of the process, and your body is working hard to get rid of things. Also wanted to share that I've really appreciated all of the events that they have scheduled throughout the day, because it really does break the day up, with the morning yoga session, and then after that I'd normally go on a walk and just enjoy my time outside, and then there'd be a lecture in early afternoon, and I'm so glad actually that I do the filming, because it's another thing that breaks it up until my treatments are later. They're at like 7 at night, and then I do the meditation. So really like how they've spaced things out to help break up the day. And with the saline injections that we had yesterday, for any of you coming to the retreat, I have a little hack for you, that when they're doing the saline injections, they're just little injections all the way up and down your back to help loosen up the muscles. And I knew from another attendee who got the treatment before me, it's one nice thing about having it later in the day is you get to know what's coming. I just thought every time that they were going to put the syringe in, I thought, they're stabbing my disease. They're stabbing my disease. And that really helped shift my perception of it. So that's something you can use. Even with the bee stings, you could use that with the bee stings. So I've really had a very positive experience. I think because I work from home and I'm a people person, it's been really enjoyable to come and just be around other people who are on a similar journey. And yeah, this has exceeded my expectation. Day 6 of dry fasting, and I am on day 4 of the retreat, and I have been very surprised with how well I am doing. I never anticipated this. I do have a lot of people praying for me, so I think that helps. But I think also what has been helping in this environment is just the landscape, the mountains, the ocean, the amazing people that are here, and just being able to be around people. So, because when you work from home, you don't get that all the time. But I would say that, again, I felt pretty good. I noticed that my voice is starting to get quieter, and my even though I come from a family where if you want to be heard, you talk loud and you talk fast if you want to be heard. So I'm probably talking here at the retreat more than what they would recommend, but it has been good for my mental health to have community. But I can tell my voice is starting to go. So how my family took me doing the dry fasting, they know that I've tried many different things over many years to try to overcome the symptoms that I've been dealing with my MS. And they've always been very supportive of the different things that I've tried. Of course, they ask questions about all the things that I try because they love me and they want to know that I'm safe. And when I told them that I was planning to dry fast, they really didn't know what to say because they didn't really know a lot about dry fasting. So what really helped them is I had sent them a video. There was a video that Michelle Slater, who's a previous participant in dry fasting with Dr. Filonov, I had watched a video or a YouTube clip of her being interviewed, and she really explained her story and how dry fasting helped her when all of the things that she tried had not worked. Modern medicine, naturopaths, all of those things. And that video literally is, I knew that I was going to be doing this. I didn't know how, but I knew I was going to be doing it. And so I shared that video with my family and let them know that's what I was going to be doing. And they still had questions. They had concerns because in America, where we're from, you're basically told you're going to die if you don't drink water for 3 days. But I can tell you, I am on day 6 of no food, no water. I'm kind of a perfectionist, so it's like I like water is like the devil to me, and so I'm so amazed. On day 6, I just walked for 2 hours today. I feel good. My mouth is dry. I'm definitely feeling that walk. My legs are very tired. But don't listen to that. It's not true. You can do dry fasting, and I'm so excited to see what's going to come out of this. But the last thing I wanted to share was, I think, so my family actually really came on board, and they were advocates. My sister's actually here with me because I've been ill for a long time with that. So she's just an extra set of eyes to make sure I'm okay. But the last thing I wanted to share is, so the sister who's here with me, about 3 years ago or 4 years ago, she invited myself and my sister's family and her family to all go downhill skiing. And I knew I couldn't physically do it, but I didn't want my diagnosis of multiple sclerosis to take that memory away from me. So I said, I'm going to go. And I cried beforehand because I was so upset that I knew that I wouldn't be able to do it, but I didn't want to miss it. So when they have a short training with the skiing that I went with for the kids to help show them how to use the poles and how to do the things. And after just 15 minutes of this short training, my legs were just quivering. There was no energy. And I had to sit down and watch the rest of the family. I had to watch the rest of the family ski. And that was a very hard moment for me, when even though the mind is very willing, your body just, sometimes when it's sick, it just won't cooperate with the mind. And so I remember sitting in the chalet watching my daughter skiing and the rest of my family skiing. And it was one of the lowest times in my health journey. But I think I needed it because I needed to have, because I didn't let my multiple sclerosis dictate me doing something, but I saw in reality that even though I was like, I'm going to do this, my body just couldn't. And so that really was kind of a memory I'll never forget, but it also made me decide that I am going to do whatever I need to do, because I want to be able to enjoy my children and I want to be able to enjoy my grandchildren, and I will do whatever it takes. So I just wanted to share that story, because if you've experienced something similar where no matter how much you want to do something, no matter how much you put your mind to it,
sometimes your body doesn't cooperate. And if you've not tried dry fasting, this really makes sense. And I would just encourage you to try it.
I am on day 7 of my fast, and it's day 5 of the retreat. And I definitely am starting to feel a lot drier. And the first 6 days, I felt surprisingly good. I did not expect that, and that's not always the norm. I do believe that my preparation for this has helped. I actually didn't find out about dry fasting until maybe 2.5 months ago. And so it was a pretty quick turnaround from just learning about dry fasting, even existing, to the point of coming here. So preparation for me in terms of the actual fasting experience was in the period of about the past 5 or 6 weeks, I've done a 5-day water fast and then 2 3-day dry fasts. And I do think because they were so close together that cleansing part was really already in place. And so if it's close to a retreat time and you're like, I can't do it, actually you can, and it might even help you. So I've felt very good through day 6 in terms of I've not had any like headaches or nausea, just very thirsty. So today I actually, overall I feel okay, but I noticed that I've just had a teeny bit of stomach nausea and my legs are weaker. Yesterday I was able to walk for 2.5 hours, but it was with like 3 or 4 or 5 breaks. So it was slower moving, but today it was, I think I might have overdone it. So, but in terms of preparation, I think some other things to think about are, you know, if you do need to get a passport, do you need to go and get euros? I went to my local bank and got euros, and just getting things ready for your household. And I also had a little bit of added preparation. So Doctor Filonov requested that I actually have my sister join me, just because with 18 years of multiple sclerosis and making sure I wasn't going to be too weak to get on the plane, I had to make arrangements with her and her plane tickets and that. So I would say that on preparation. The last thing I would say is for packing. I packed, I'm a planner, so I packed a ton of stuff, and I feel like I'm using like 1/4 of it. So you'll probably overpack. It's not a fashion show here, people, just so you know, not a fashion show. And I actually wish someone was able to put some essential oil on my sleeve, and I have loved it. It's been so great. So that was something kind of fun and meaningful. Like, don't put on your skin, but she put it right here, and it's just so heavenly. So that's what I wanted to say for packing and essential oil. So I hope that helps. Day 8 of the dry fast. This is day 6 of the retreat, and I've been very privileged to feel so good the first 6 days of the retreat. Today's a little different. So my overall, I can't complain. I've just definitely felt like my stomach has been pretty, I don't know how to explain it, like sour, just kind of unsettled. I've heard a lot of gurgling, and so I talked a little bit, I think, before about packing, so I won't talk too much about it, but buy an ice pack if you haven't already, because it feels so good on your stomach if your stomach doesn't feel good. So don't forget it. This was, I think, like $6 or $7 off of Amazon. So bring one of these. And then I actually may ask, Anastasia is who's doing my treatments. I might ask her tonight to massage my liver, because someone else at the retreat said that their stomach was feeling the same way, and so they had a liver massage, and that did help. So I'm going to do that. But no headache. Very thankful that I've not had a headache the entire time. One thing I did want to share is, I don't know if I shared this yesterday or not, but if I did, forgive me. If you are a woman and you are concerned about coming and it's going to overlap your period, don't worry about it at all. I've historically had migraines, and I probably mentioned it, but I would have, during my previous periods, I would have migraines that would sometimes last a couple of days. So I had no idea how this would affect, fasting would affect my period. And I have had 0 headaches. I have felt pretty good up until today, minus just some little weird things, but this is my buddy right here. So no headaches, bring your ice pack. I think what they wanted me to talk about today was the daily routine. And basically, I get up in the morning and I will journal a little bit. I really don't want to lose. I've taken a lot of time and energy and resources to be able to get here, and I don't want to forget all of the things that are coming to me, because when you remove yourself from your home, you don't have all the decisions to make, you don't have all the tasks to do. There is just a level of clarity that comes when you come here, and you don't want to forget it. So every morning I journal, and then at 8:30 we go to yoga, and after that I love to walk barefoot on the beach. It feels so good, and breathing in the fresh air. So I go on my walk, and then I typically come back to the room for a little bit, and I might just lay down and I can check messages that have come through from my family and friends. And after that, at 1 o'clock, we have lecture with Doctor Filonov and Svetlana, and I love the question and answers portion, because a lot of us have so many of the similar questions. It's nice to be able to hear, and you're able to put in your own questions. So I love the lecture time, and I bring my notebook for that. So I have a black notebook that has my journal in it. It has my lecture notes in it. I tried doing it with my phone, but it's just too much good information. I just had to use my notebook. So I encourage you to bring a notebook. It doesn't have to be fancy. Mine's just a black notebook, and I love it. After lecture, I try to get in another walk. It's normally not on the beach, but just somewhere around Montenegro. And I come back and do the filming. And after filming, there's a little gap of time, and I typically will go lay on the beach and just do whatever I feel like doing, whether it's sleeping, whether it's writing in my journal, whether it's catching up on messages. It's whatever I feel like doing. And then my treatments are at 7 p.m. I actually really like it, because at first when I saw my treatments were at 7 p.m., I thought, oh, I wish I had more of a midday one, but I love it because it doesn't cut into being able to do things. I have been able, my sister has accompanied me, and it has been such a blessing because I've had this MS for so long. I think I mentioned they wanted me to have her come with, and so we were actually able to take a taxi over to Petrovac, and she's my chaperone, so I can go. And that was amazing. I loved being able to see another little area around here. It's a beautiful, beautiful area. And then, after treatment, they have meditation at 9 p.m. And then after that is bedtime. So they really do a great job of just putting things throughout the day. And I love that. So, that's pretty much it. I am on day 9 of my dry fast. It feels really good to say that. And on day 7 of the retreat. And the first 6 days were really, really, really good. Day 7, I felt a little bit of nausea, just a little bit. Yesterday, I felt a little bit more nausea. And I would say that today, day 9, is definitely been the hardest. But for some people, a friend that I made here her day 7 and 8 were harder than her 9th day. So it's very individual. But outside of just losing my voice a little bit and the nausea and the dry mouth, I'm so happy I'm here. I'm very happy I'm here. I also wanted to share the treatments. I really have liked how Anastasia has been my therapist, and she really listens to where I'm at. Like yesterday, I told her that I had nausea, and she was able to do a really good liver massage, and I've really appreciated how much they listen to me and to what I need. They know what I need, even when I don't know it. And so those are the treatments. Also, I just wanted to share that I would encourage you, if you come, to be open to other people who are here. Just even before coming here, one of the attendees is just not feeling very good. And, one of the other attendees just came up and just hugged her. And it was just a beautiful release, like she needed that hug. And we were able to help her up the stairs. And we all have times where we just don't feel good. And if you open yourself up to the community of people here, while obviously respecting that people need quiet when they're healing, but there's certain times where you can tell people they're not just hungry for food or water, they're hungry for connection. And if you carefully pay attention to who those people are, it can be a really beautiful thing. And so I'm so grateful for the people who are here. They've made this experience incredible. The last thing I wanted to share is I know it comes up a lot that dry fasting is so dangerous. And I'm from America, so that's just what you're going to hear. But I am here to say, first and foremost, that it is absolutely not done. If it's done correctly, it is not dangerous at all. In fact, what's more dangerous is eating a double Whopper cheeseburger. That's more dangerous. But you won't hear that. And I really encourage you to look into it because people keep getting sicker and sicker for a reason. Because we keep eating and we keep drinking and our bodies need a break. Just like you turn your cell phone off to restart it so it doesn't have all the problems. That is what dry fasting is. Not dangerous, especially like when done correctly. I mean, a 3-day fast, not dangerous. If you're wanting to do a longer fast like this, you need to be here or supervised. You're not going to really find anywhere else to be supervised by someone who's done this for decades. So not dangerous. Friends and family of someone who is wanting to get well, they need to be here. They've tried everything else. They need to be here and they need your support. So I cannot recommend enough that you come for dry fasting. So that's all I have for today, and I'm so excited to drink my water. Can I share one more thing? I am leaving here a completely different person. I will never take for granted water and food. I came here expecting for this to be the start of a healing journey because I am going to continue fasting as a lifestyle. But what I did not expect or know that I would leave with was coming out a completely different person, a better person, a more grateful person. I know my intense level of appreciation. It might dull a bit once I'm able to have food and water, but it's always going to stay with me. And I think that's almost as big of a gift as the healing itself. So come to Montenegro. I am on day 1 of exit, and it's day 8 of the retreat. And I feel like one of the things I wanted to talk about was just the mindset when you're in the last days of fasting, versus after you've actually been able to drink. And I felt very good to be able to drink water. My voice is coming back. I didn't lose it horribly, but it's because I'm used to talking all the time, so I think my voice is just used to that. But it's nice to be getting my voice back. But the interesting thing is in the last 3 days of fasting, I had this absolute infatuation with thinking about cold water and the watermelon slices and the orange, which I think I mentioned before. And the ice cold water, which I know is not good for your spleen or kidneys. Something doesn't like it. And but what was very, and to go off of that, one of the other attendees here, she was so food infatuated that she literally has over $450 worth of groceries being delivered to her house. Some of them are actually already there. And I just wanted to let people know that you will actually kind of have this like manic, this almost like an insanity in a sense, that you are just so wanting food, and a lot of it is going to be not food, liquid, but the food that has liquid like watermelon or oranges. Those are the things that you can't stop thinking about. But what really surprised me is after I broke my fast and was able to drink water, I really noticed that my mind just came to a very normal level. I wasn't like fixated on, needing all of these things. So I didn't know that. I didn't know to expect that you really just go into kind of a crazy state. So that will pass actually. As soon as you break your fast, you kind of come back down. And as it sits right now with the first day of fast, I am tired, of course. I've taken a couple naps on the beach. I'm sure I will take another one. But I'm still trying to get out and just walk short distances to keep things moving. And I've just actually noticed about 10 minutes ago that tinnitus, I've had tinnitus for a long time, that the tinnitus is in full force. So you just expect to have some of those things come back. But the only other thing I wanted to share was treatments. I didn't really know. I knew that there were these old Slavic treatments, and they're so good. I did not know how painful they would be, but I can feel a difference when I'm done. In fact, yesterday I had probably one of my most painful treatments that I've had, and I actually did ask, I haven't done this yet, but I had to ask if we could just take a break so I could take a breath. But it was so good. She was actually pushing the lymphatic system, like the old lymphatic fluid that's just been sitting stagnant in my legs. I do work from home, so that can be a problem. It's so good that even though it was the most painful one, I'm thinking I might ask for her to do it again because it was so good. So expect painful treatments, but it's pain with a purpose. So day 1 of exit, I'm done. Second day of exit, and it's the 9th day of the retreat. And I would say that physically, this has probably been the day that I'm just the most tired, but without all of the desire for water. My legs, even before knowing about dry fasting, have always been fairly weak, like I shared earlier. And so today I definitely am feeling, it feels like I have 50-pound weights on each of my legs. My whole body just feels very heavy. I can still move around, but it's just very laborious. So I would say that day 9 of dry fasting and day 2 of exit have probably been the most challenging for me. So I'm looking forward as I get more food in my body to strengthen a little bit. And it's nice to have my voice come back, not be quite so shallow. I wanted to share one interesting thing that one of the other attendees, who she's actually been here 5 times to the retreat. So she shared, because I am planning on doing subsequent fasts beyond this. Of course, I would be doing the weekly and quarterly and yearly dry fasts that they recommend. But in addition to that, I will be doing 1 or 2, whatever Dr. Filonov says, subsequent dry fasts, just to help because of how long I've had things. And it was really very good to hear this participant who's done multiple fasts. She said after her first fast, she felt like a 10-year-old girl, and she just felt incredible. And, that's cleansing, right? But as she got into her second and third fast, she said were much more challenging, but then the 4th and 5th were better. So I just wanted to put that out there. If you are doing multiple fasts, to not be discouraged if, the first one's great and then the next ones aren't. Everyone is so different. You cannot put a clear manual together on what fasting is going to look like, because your body, as they said, is really prioritizing what it needs to heal. Regardless of we want it to heal, you have to continue doing it to get to that level. So that was really wise, and that was very helpful. So I am happy that I'm mostly out of the woods and looking forward to getting stronger in the next days. It's November 5th, 2024, and I am on day 3 of my exit from the dry fasting, and I am on day 10 of the retreat. And it's really hard to share everything that you experience here, but I was just telling one of the attendees that I've received a lot more. I've received a lot more out of the retreat than I thought that I would have, especially outside of just with the physical healing. I know this is the beginning of the journey, but just really starting to really connect with myself, and really starting to take time to pay attention to things that, because of the speed of life, you don't always take the time to pay attention to thoughts or things. And so it's really been very healing, not just on a physical level, but even just emotional, starting to take time where you need to take time. And yeah, my experience with the retreat, it went much smoother than I thought. I did have, I would say towards the end is where it got a little bit more challenging. And but you have to go through the challenges to, I guess, no pain, no gain. You have to push through on some things. So for example, last night I was a little concerned just because I've always had low blood pressure. And I was feeling a little dizzy a couple nights ago. And then last night I felt a lot more dizzy. And I should have called Svetlana or Anastasia, but I had a little bit of a panic, and there was my sisters with me, and we had some little olives in the room, and I thought that, I should fix my blood pressure, but that's an American thing, and I've really been learning more about that, and that if you are ever in that situation where you're not sure what to do, reach out. Don't compromise your fast. It's not the end of the world, but I wish I would have reached out, but I didn't want to wake anybody up. But that's what the help is here for. And so there's other solutions that you can have that are better for your fast. So if you really do have a question, that is what the team is here for. And but overall, if I were to wrap this up, I would say that the retreat has given me a lot more than what I ever envisioned. And so, yeah, I would encourage you, if you're tired of just dealing with your sickness, that nothing else seems to be helping, that you should really give dry fasting a try. Look into it. I did a lot of reading and digging beforehand, and just don't be afraid to try it, because so many people on this retreat, I've heard themselves say it feels like a rebirth, something different. And it's true. You can't explain it unless you do it. And I've also been very inspired by the fact that some people have been here 3 times, 5 times. People wouldn't come and do this if it's not working. And I don't want to sound salesy, but if you believe in something and it just feels right, it's hard to not get excited about it. So I will probably have a couple more long fasts after I go home before moving into the maintenance. But I'm excited that I was able to start my journey in Montenegro.